What up, Crypto Warriors? The Soldier on Crypto, back at it again. Today is Monday, December 3rd, 2018. Wanted to talk about Tether today, and I'm here on the official website for Tether. Doesn't give you much information, alright? But hey, that's why I use different sources, alright? So I have Binance up there too. But so like I said, I wanted to talk about Tether, and this year has been filled with a lot of negative stories about Tether. You know, a study stating it was the cause of the manipulated run up to 20K in the beginning of this year. And in that study, you know, like I said, they kind of pointed out that Tether was used to push Bitcoin's price up by buying more Bitcoin with more Tether, and that Tether was, you know, just printing money basically to buy more Bitcoin. Hence, that caused the price to go up. All right. Also, so yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll leave a link to that story about it being used to manipulate the price of Bitcoin. But my understanding of what Tether is, you know, is that Tether is considered to be a stable coin, and as such is supposed to help preserve your wealth. So when the price of Bitcoin fluctuates, you're able to, if it's going on the downward spiral, right, you're able to get out of Bitcoin and go into Tether, preserving your wealth. All right, so if the price of Bitcoin, say it is $6,000 and you have one Bitcoin, and then on the way down, all right, you notice that the price of Bitcoin is dropping. Instead of watching it drop to say $3,000 and losing half of your fiat, you get into Tether at say the $6,000 mark, and then when it drops down now to $3,000, you're able to purchase twice as much Bitcoin as you had before. So that's my understanding of what Tether is supposed to be used for. All right, you know, coming into this space and everything. So that's just basically the breakdown of what Tether is used for. All right, so like I said before, a lot of negative stories coming out about Tether, and you know, they're getting subpoenaed by the CFTC and also by the Department of Justice to find out whether or not they have the funds to back up their claim that Tether is, you know, for each Tether it's backed by a US dollar, or if you're in Europe, by the euro. All right, so for every one Tether there's one US dollar. All right, so you know, it's a stable currency. Tether converts cash into digital currency to anchor or tether the value to the price of national currencies like the US dollar, the euro, and the yen. All right, 100% backed. Every Tether is always backed one-to-one by traditional currency held in our reserves. So 1 USDT is always equivalent to 1 USD. Now, I'm going to call BS on this because of something called fractional reserve lending, all right, or fractional reserve banking, and I'll get into that later. So here's this story. Now this is the article coming from out of Bloomberg about the manipulation of Tether, but on the actual website here for Tether, it says why use Tether, and when you scroll down, it doesn't even give you an actual reason why to use Tether. It doesn't give you one. All right, it just gives you a little blurb from the CEO of Bitfinex, who's also the CEO of Tether and the CEO of Poloniex Exchange. All right, and that's it. It doesn't give you an actual why you should use Tether. So Boom. That's crap. All right. So according to Binance, this is what USDT is. All right. USDT is a cryptocurrency asset issued on the Bitcoin blockchain via the OmniLayer protocol. Each USDT unit is backed by a US dollar held in the reserves of the Tether Limited and can be redeemed through the Tether platform. USDT can be transferred, stored, spent just like Bitcoins or any other cryptocurrency. And it goes into some more stuff right here. So, again, I'll link these down at the bottom. And here go the story about the Department of Justice scrutinizing Tether and trying to figure out whether or not each USDT is backed by a US dollar. So right now, currently, as of today, the circulating supply is $1.8 billion. All right, so they're saying that $1.8 billion is currently being held in the bank for to represent each Tether out there. Now, the reason why I'm going to say that's BS, and right now also, before I even jump into that, Tether allows USDT redemption for USD on platform. So you could, if you have $100,000 in USDT, you could basically get that in US dollars by using the Tether platform. All right, going to their website, logging it, and signing up, transferring your USDT from off the exchanges back to Tether itself, and then exchanging it to US dollars. All right, so that's a feature that's now available again. They stopped it for a while, but now they returned to it, and it's available for us to use if you have $100,000. So there, get that out the way. So now, fractional reserve banking. What is fractional reserve banking? Fractional reserve banking is a banking system in which only a fraction of bank deposits are backed by actual cash on hand and are available for withdrawal. This is done to expand the economy by freeing up capital that can be loaned out to other parties. Many US banks were forced to shut down during the Great Depression because too many people attempted to withdraw assets at the same time. So basically, are running the banks. All right. So again, this is our Investopedia. I'll leave a link to this in the description below, and I'll leave a link to this as well. This is an illustration of what fractional reserve is. So we'll just go through two of the examples here, or two of it basically. You start here, you deposit $1,000 into your bank. All right, now the bank has a reserve of 10% reserve, so they actually only actually only have to act to keep in the bank vault $100, and they loan out the other $900. All right, this person spend it or they deposit it. All right, now it's $900 deposited, and it's a 10% reserve, so $90 is what they actually keep on hand, and then the cycle goes on and on and on and on. So again, everything will be linked in the description below. But back to what I was saying before with Tether and the U.S. Department of Justice and the CFTC subpoena Tether about their manipulation of the markets and actually trying to figure out if they have the actual reserves in the bank. If Tether, or if banks aren't actually allowed to, or not allowed, but if banks don't have to keep 100% of what we deposit to them then why should Tether, be held to that standard? You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is, because the bank have a system set up for a fractional reserve banking, I'm basically saying that Tether, people at Tether is using a page out of their playbook. All right, Tether is using a page out of their playbook against them. So I don't think that Tether actually have an actual one-to-one backing of the USDT. All right, the actual one-to-one. So the actual $1.8 billion in some bank somewhere. I honestly don't think that's the case, because the rules are set up for fractional reserve banking, where they only actually have to have 10% of that available at any given time in some bank. All right, so even if these guys did actually deposit $1.8 billion into a bank, the bank now don't have to keep that whole 1.8 billion in their vault. They only have to keep 10% of that. So that would be $180 million. All right, so or depending on where the bank is, because that 10% was just an example. It could be 5%, or could be 15%. We don't know what it is. So I'm making this video basically saying that the Department of Justice and all these big alphabet boys are coming after Tether, and the people that run Tether, because they're basically using a page out of their playbook, man. So that's all I have to say about that. You let me know what you guys think, if you actually think that Tether is backed one-to-one by the US dollar. I actually don't think so, because of fractional reserve banking. All right, and that's another reason why I love crypto, is because it makes me research these things. It forces me to research these things, because that's what crypto is all about. It's about you being in charge of your own asset, of your own money. All right, and being in charge of your own money, I feel that you should want to do the research and want to look up the meaning of these different things. Fractional reserve banking, and when you hear these stories come out about them doing an investigation on these different crypto companies and suing ICOs and things of that nature, quote unquote cleaning up the space, it makes you wonder, why are they all of a sudden doing that? All right, because just a few years ago, crypto wasn't even real to these people, and it was fake, and it wouldn't last. But that's another video for another time. But as always, thank you for watching. Let's discuss it in the comment section below. Do you actually think that Tether is backed, one-to-one? And do you, if they aren't backed one-to-one, do you think they should be penalized because they are using the page out of their own the Federal Reserve's playbook? So I don't think they should be penalized if they're not, because hey, they're just following the rules, man. All right, it's been your boy Sergeant Crypto. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash that like, hit that subscribe button, also that notification bell to get notified when I upload new videos. Thanks again. Peace.